Yo, what is up, everybody? We are back for another live episode of WrestleSense because everyone has their own WrestleSense. And before we bring on the boys here, CJ is at physical therapy, so we wish him the best, getting better, of course. I want to welcome everybody into the show. And I want to do not really a little rant, but just talk about a little something that this past week has reminded me about professional wrestling. What do I look for in a wrestling television show? What's important to me, because I can only speak from my point of view. And I hope that a lot of you guys share the same sentiment. Number one, I want it to entertain me. Obviously, you want to be entertained when you watch any TV show. Number two, I want it to make me laugh. I like comedy. I like humor. I'd like some part of the show to make me laugh. And sometimes frighten me. So sometimes you're afraid of an injury, afraid of a move, afraid of an individual. So I like to be entertained. I like to laugh. And I like to be frightened sometimes as well. It's all in the encompassment of one good TV show for wrestling, in my opinion. But the one thing I was reminded of this weekend that I really love is the element of surprise. I think that's my favorite part of wrestling. If we knew exactly what was going to happen and everything we wanted to happen, I don't think it would be as fun to me. I want to be surprised. What I'm not surprised about today is those showing up, and I love the support. Aaron West is in the house again. Wally always giving us support. I appreciate it. Keep those thumbs up coming. The more the better. The earlier the better. William Kenna has been here for 4 or 5 weeks in a row. I appreciate that. Andy Price from the other side of the planet. I appreciate you. Monstar as well. Big shout out to Sean and everyone up in Canada. So, you know, I want to be surprised, and I was a few times over this past week, and that's a good thing. So we're going to get into the recap. We're going to recap something we talked about a while ago, which was rivalries, wrestling rivalries, and we'll have a debate, a little discussion about that as well. And then we're going to talk about one thing that I hold very near and dear, which is wrestling entrance themes. Now, we're not going to talk about the best because everyone has their favorites. We're going to talk about the most recognizable entrance themes in professional wrestling. So that'll be fun too. We're going to play a little game show with that with you guys in the chat as well. Colby's in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Big shout out to your Denver Nuggets winning the championship, my friend. Yeah, I love surprises. And surprise. Let's mix it up and bring Ray on first because he's delivering some pizzas.
Oi, cunts!
What's happening?
It's kind of funny that some of the chat members and some of the fans actually have a better attendance record than me and CJ.
Well, we made that known when we started that, as much as we can make it. And that's why we have 4 of us, too. So if it's just me and you, Ray, we can do it. Just me and Doc, CJ and you, whatever. So I think we got a great little horseman.
Well, the wife and I went to dinner, and she's like, I need to run in here. It'll only take a minute.
Of course.
And as you can see, I am not back to the shop to do the podcast. So
no problem.
I'm technically driving right now. So if you see the phone get all wobbly and you hear a scream, call 911.
All right. Note taken. There's the Doc. What's happening, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
Great day for wrestling.
Fun weekend.
You talked about surprises.
Yes.
Monstars is in the chat talking about being turned on. He turns me on. You know what turns me on? Bring her back. Yeah, that's what turns me on. How you doing? You see that, everybody? That's what's topping me off later. All right, anyways.
You leave Mrs. Bruiser out of this. She'd beat your ass and you know it.
She would. I fear her worse than you. Even when Bodie's near, we'll ask him that same question. Who do you fear more? Uncle DH or Uncle or Aunt Lisa? And it's going to be said. It's going to be said Aunt Lisa. I guarantee it. My money's on Lisa.
I have fun with him. She just yells at him.
Well, yeah, but she also pummels him. No, I'm joking. She don't pummel him, but once in a while she'll grab him up. It's kind of funny though. The fear in his eyes is like amazing.
So last week we titled the show Blank in the Bank because we knew someone was going to win and have that name. So Why not give our 2 cents on Money in the Bank?
Woo!
Money pun.
Hey.
All right, let's switch to our new little layout here. So, wow, let's talk about Money in the Bank. London, number 1. I was very happy with the crowd. The crowd was phenomenal through this whole show. I love the chants. I love all the weird chants. If you hate Roman, take your shoes off was one of them. Stand up if you hate Roman. Was there other ones you guys remember? There was a ton of them.
Yeah, I mean, there was
a lot of crazy ones.
Yeah, it was. It's a soccer country. It's they have those chants, man. I mean, they have them. They're going to use them, and it was amazing.
It's a great vibe, and it's a lot of times they're like singing some of the songs. They're like songs that they sing and stuff too, and it's like it's entertaining. It's fun. It adds to the show.
If nothing else, it really makes me excited even more for AEW All In.
Yeah,
because we're going to see 75,000 strong as opposed to 20,000, which is going to be insane.
So, does anybody else hope for a Fight Forever update with the Wembley Stadium All In?
Eventually,
I'm sure it'll happen. They've already announced the Stadium Stampede release. It seems like they're going to be releasing shit quite often.
And that's cool. And that's the thing. They're giving back because they know that we've waited for so long, too. I think that's another thing. Which
technically cool. On the Stadium Stampede, you can play online with 29 other people.
Yeah, they based it off of the way Fortnite works, which, hey, that's, the open world type shit. GTA and Fortnite have the gaming world by the nuts. And I was waiting. I said that 2 years ago. I was like, open world. I don't know how they would do an open world wrestling game, but this is a very cool way to do it. In my opinion.
Well, I think we're going to need to organize. We'll give it like a month for the bugs to work out. We're going to need to organize a WrestleSense Stadium Stampede match.
They did fix the PS4 bugs. Thank God.
Anybody in the chat that has the balls.
Yeah, we'll invite them.
That'll be some fun times, man.
I'll put it out all over Twitter, and we'll get a bunch of people that have the game, and we'll have a big, huge brawl.
I'm going to beat Hot Wheels with a skateboard.
Jesus Christ.
I love the skateboard. The skateboard mini game, I'm hooked on it because I just go wee and skate around and do tricks. It's a blast.
I challenged your wife.
Well, Hot Wheels wanted me to protect him from his menace.
Who would that be?
What do you mean, who would that be? Who almost threw him off the stage?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. He's sadistic as hell. So
So speaking of surprises, we all thought that this first match was going to go a certain way, but I don't see too many people mad at who won because the opportunity, we talked about it last week, all 7 of these guys could have used that briefcase in a good way.
I mean, myself and DH were in the same room when it happened, and we didn't get too bummed about it. We didn't cuss and get all hoot and holler like we probably would if Logan Paul would have won.
Yeah.
But just the simple fact is, this was a hell of a match, and everybody got a little bit of shine. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Of course, Priest is going to get because he's the one that got the suitcase. However, I mean, Logan Paul, we almost witnessed a death with that Spanish Fly going kind of bad.
Yeah.
Jason from that wrestling podcast pointed out a good thing in our conversation that I think Ricochet should have let Logan drop and aided himself. I mean, as much as I don't like Logan Paul, you still don't put somebody in that big of a risk.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe an unfair opinion.
He actually said it. I don't know if you guys watched. I didn't watch the whole podcast, but I watched the clips of him talking about it. He was like, dude, I'm a noob. I don't know what I was doing. Like, he's like, the spot didn't go as planned, and I'm thinking, okay, we're calling it off. And then Ricochet just fucking full sends it, and we went with it. You know what I mean? So he was like, I really wasn't prepared for it, so I didn't get full rotation over. He's like, I mean, he said we made the best out of it. He's like, I'm fine. It's just scrapes and bruises. He's like, but whenever we missed the ropes, he was like, I assumed that we were done, and he's like, there was no done. We were going.
Oh shit! Surprise, surprise! We got welcome to Ride Along with the WrestleSense podcast.
Yeah, it is a ride along today.
On this edition of Carpool Karaoke.
Right?
CJ's
CJ?
you and CJ are the voices of that.
How'd PT go, brother?
I'm pretty rocked. I'm not gonna lie. I got a lot of work to do, but they're liking how everything is looking, and it's all on me now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The hell's that in your mouth?
A cigarette.
Oh boy. All right.
Gotta have a cigarette for the ride home, boys.
What kind of physical therapy did you get? A little rub and tug or something?
I wish.
He's that hot, huh?
No, she was all right. I'll give her that.
So, we talked about somebody in the bank. Now apparently it's Senior in the bank, and I think still here. This I love. Tell me he should keep wearing the freaking Skeletor outfit. That was menacing. Dude looks badass. What do you guys think of the getup that Priest had?
I loved it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love when the wrestlers do something with their entrances to harken to something else. I mean, especially for big shows, it makes it, gives it something special to it.
It made me think of Punishment Martinez. That's what it made me think of, like how he was back when he was punished.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Skeletor right then and there. I really thought it was more of a Punishment Martinez kind of like homage to, but wow.
It was dope.
God,
It was
that's
awesome.
badass.
Until I saw this picture, I'm with you, Doc. I was just like, badass outfit. And I was like, it kind of reminds me of something. And then when I saw this, I was like, holy shit, it's a freaking Skeletor outfit. But I said this guy in our chat too. I really want Damian to show up everywhere and tease a cash in. How about this picture?
Loved it.
It's kind of cool that they recreated the Beatles. It made me think that Judgment Day was going to run the table and win all 4 matches. That show.
It's one of the things that I brought up a while ago. Like, they are living the gimmick. Like, they've, I think it was on, I'm trying to remember what website it was on. I'm setting you down for a second while I set up my tripod. Trying to remember what website it was on, but they were talking about the relationship of the Judgment Day guys and gals and how, like, Damian Priest treats Rhea like his little sister, and Finn actually calls Dominic his nephew, and like, they're not just in the gimmick because they're in the gimmick. Like, they travel together, they hang out together, they get tattoos together, like, and that's another reason, like, this dissension gimmick that they're doing, I like it, but I hope that they don't pull the trigger on it. I hope that it's just a gimmick for the time being, you know what I mean? And they don't split them, because it's very rare that you get a faction that is that close to each other and living the gimmick like that. And I think it's freaking awesome. And it comes across on TV because, like, they legit seem like a coherent faction. They make sense. They fit together. And I love every bit of that.
It is. It's growing on me. And look, it's something that Dave was thinking of it wasn't working for a while there. Doc?
I mean, the simple fact is, with this picture, I look at it and it was hilarious. Is that exact photo, not of the Judgment Day, of course, the Beatles, is actually in my living room.
Nice.
That it's canvas. I do dig the simple fact that they do what race is they're together and everything like that. Another thing though that DH, you pointed out about Rhea and Finn having how about Priest and Rhea? I mean, before this Judgment Day thing was even on, they were already on social media, doing stuff, something like that. So if you think about it, like the fires were forged, but I really see it more being Priest and Ripley, how this Judgment Day was created.
So, I mean, we all thought that LA Knight was, but it was a pleasant surprise. Once again, like I said, any of those guys could have won that and had a good run with it. CJ, what'd you think of the first match?
I mean, obviously, I wanted LA Knight to win it, but I'm okay with Priest. I'm more than okay with Priest. And I don't know, Ray, was it you that said that, like, at first the Judgment Day didn't work? I think it's been pretty solid the whole time. Maybe it didn't get the crowd reaction that they're getting now, but
until they got Dominic in.
Bingo. Once Dom got over.
Once
boom.
Dominic got in and, like, they lost the idea that there's a leader. Like, you can't really say that Finn Balor's the leader or Damian Priest is the leader. Honestly, if you're going to say anybody's the leader.
I said Rhea was the leader all along.
But honestly, it doesn't feel like as a group that they have a leader. It feels like they're a legitimate group.
Yeah. But see, we were
like a cohesive unit.
Yeah, when Edge was leading that, though, I was actually sold on it then. I mean, and then it even got better. I mean, but
when he left, it did change a little bit until Dom got over.
Yeah, I was still all about it, though. I don't know what it was.
It changed when Edge left, and I think what you're referring to is, yes, it worked with Edge in it. When Edge left is when they treaded water, because he tried to keep the same gimmick without Edge, and without Edge, that gimmick just doesn't work for them. So when they added Dom, they kind of morphed from like this dark supernatural thing to just like we're just cocky and badass and a family, and we're gonna run this shit. And when they did that, that's when it started to really click. And then obviously Dom, for whatever reason, I love Dom. Dom is the most over heel in WWE right now. Not named Roman
phenomenal.
He doesn't have to do much either. Just come out and hold the mic and pretend to talk. But I really want Damian Priest to show up at NXT, show up at Gunther's matches. Everybody tease that he's gonna, he could fight any of those.
One thing good about the Damian Priest is you gotta admit, like, it's a believable cash in.
Yes.
Like, unlike, say, whenever The Miz wins it, and you know that The Miz is probably going to get, like, some underhanded thing, blah, blah, blah. But you can legit believe that Damian would cash in on anybody at any time. You know what I mean? Like, he is a legit badass that, isn't going to wait just for the opportune time, as far as, like, you know what I mean?
Somebody hurt. But would you guys be disappointed if he cashed in and beat Austin Theory for the U.S. title?
I wouldn't.
Honestly, no.
I mean, that would be the least of I think, like you said, even if he would challenge Roman, I really think it's going to be Seth because of that thing with Finn right now. Unless he waits a while. He could wait forever. He doesn't have to cash in right away. He's not the women's bank. That's the one that normally cashes in right away. We're not going to waste a lot of time on this match. We will talk about one thing, which is the turn that it looks like it's going to be the end of Ronda Rousey. We had Shayna she talked some trash on Ronda the other night too on Monday, which was nice. But this match,
so good.
It was just to set up, Ronda versus Shayna. So I don't know if anyone has anything to add to this match.
Well, I'll give you the only insight that I've read on it. And that is that Ronda has given a hard out date that she is leaving WWE. There will be no extension because she is back in talks with Dana White. Since Amanda Nunes, I don't know how
retired.
UFC.
Yeah.
She
Amanda
retired.
Nunes is retired. The women's division in UFC has no real star power, and apparently they're willing to throw a shit ton of money at her. And she's entertaining the option. So she's giving WWE a hard out. So instead of this being able to plan out, with her getting injured and all that stuff getting put away, this was always the plan. This was always supposed to be, her putting Shayna over. But they were supposed to have a long run with the tag titles. And now Ronda's basically said, I don't care that I was hurt. I'm leaving at this date, and that's that. So they're going to run with it. And her out date is not far from now. It's not like Mania or anything like that.
I want Shayna to be women's champ before the end of the year.
I miss NXT Shayna Baszler, like
Yeah, I think that's what
non-unstoppable monster.
Theme music.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
the theme
seems
music
like we got a
great.
little more of it. A little more of
You
her.
remember the first Royal Rumble she was in, Women's Royal Rumble, she was a fucking beast. She threw like 8 people out or something like that, just dominated. And
Legit
I
badass.
loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I want NXT Shayna back.
That's what I just said too. I agree with you.
Get it.
And there's the thing. Does anybody remember that promo where Becky Lynch is having a sit down? It was Charlie Caruso at the time, and here comes Shayna, and very calmly, "Hey, can I have a seat real quick? Do you mind? Thanks, thank you." And she sits down, and she just, "Hi, you've been avoiding me for how long?" I loved it. That was one of the best promos, and everybody always like shits on her mic skills. I think she's just fine with it, And I thought, like, that promo right there. Go back to that promo. You question Shayna's mic skills? Go to that promo.
Look, she's not the most charismatic on the mic. I'll agree with that. But even the promo she cut against Rousey felt genuine.
Yeah.
And as long as she comes across genuine, like, Shayna's a believable badass.
Yes,
like, obviously, she has the MMA background, but she also looks the part. Like, no offense to Liv Morgan. I love Liv Morgan as a wrestler, and I love her as a character, and she's cute as hell. But she looks like a Barbie doll. You know what I mean? Shayna looks like she'll beat the shit out of you.
Shayna could probably beat a lot of the men. A lot of the men legit. She could probably break their friggin' arms too.
Another thing about Shayna, that when she speaks, she kind of sounds like that bully from The Simpsons, the one with the toboggan. I will say that she does.
Did you guys go over the women's ladder match already?
We're going right in order here. So we're at Gunther and Riddle, and we got the return of Drew setting up a match, and it was good to do that in the UK.
That pop was amazing.
Do you guys think Drew's gonna beat Gunther and take the title? I don't really want him to, but a lot of people think he's the guy to do it.
But if he loses, it doesn't hurt him.
No.
But if he wins, it doesn't hurt Gunther either. So
apparently
he's signed
like a multi-year contract now, and Drew's going to be back for a while.
Good. Is he a chosen one again?
I don't know. He might be.
I hope not, because that usually jinxes people.
Wow.
Well, it actually Triple H said it kind of in somewhat said it in the post media scrum, whatever you want to call it, press conference, whatever. But he said that was all bullshit. And then somebody interviewed Drew, and he's like, people just like to talk. He's like, I was in constant contact with Triple H and the office, and he's like, there was never any issue. He's like, I was hurt. He was like, and I was getting some stuff cleaned up, and we assumed that after Mania would be the best time to do it, for me to take some time away. He's like, there was never any issue. He's like,
animosity or anything, right?
Everyone's a story. Everyone's to make up a story. But
and as far as you said, like about Drew and Gunther, that's where they're going to go SummerSlam.
Yeah,
you have the built-in thing with Imperium, so Imperium's going to cheat to help Gunther win, so that Drew still looks strong. And I'm hoping that experience of Gunther cheating, of the Imperium fucking him over, we need to see Drew heel. Like, I get you couldn't bring him back as a heel. You had to bring him back as a babyface for that pop in London. But we need to see this character be freshened up. He's been a babyface since he's come to the main roster, minus, like, the first, 3 months when he was in the Baron Corbin's mid-card fucking vortex of hell. But we need to see a badass heel Drew, and that is your believable feud for Seth after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because Drew looks like a legit threat. Drew is a badass ass kicker that wants to murder you. Is somebody like the NXT Drew McIntyre. I know we just said that about Shayna going back to the NXT, but like that NXT Drew McIntyre when he came in was, I'm here to fucking break necks and cash checks, and that's it. And
I think that's what
we need to see right now, because you need a number one heel not named Brock Lesnar.
I think they want to get
on Raw.
Gunther past Honky Tonk's record.
I don't see Gunther losing it till Mania.
I hope he doesn't either. Cody and Dom.
It's a fun match.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was to set up the Brock thing. I think it's to set up the Brock thing again. So
I really thought Brock would come. I think it would have made more sense to have Brock come out on this one.
I don't know. I love the way he came out on.
I don't know. I kind of like.
Good, CJ.
I'm okay with Cody. Like, I really thought, like I said, I think last week, that Dom was gonna actually win, but I'm okay with Cody going over. He needs it. He's took a lot of L's lately. and Dom is going to get that monster heat regardless. So I think that was the right choice.
Yeah,
And you got to give Cody Rhodes props, man. He is the best babyface in wrestling right now.
He is.
Yeah.
He's the new age Hulk Hogan. I mean, there's nobody like my kid's face is in a tablet a lot during wrestling, but whenever Cody that music hits, the tablet's off and he's watching it because that's
and he's
his fan.
interacting with the kids at ringside and stuff. I mean, everything that a good face should do. So props to him. Anyone who questioned him when he came back to WWE, I'm sure he proved you wrong a million times.
The other thing you got to say though too is they're setting him up like on every Raw. We're seeing multiple Cody Rhodes entrances because the shows are built around him. Even with Seth as world champion, we saw that intro promo where, Cody came out, they teased the interaction, and then Brock comes out, but then Cody still came out later to cut a promo. You know what I mean? And then still, you know what I mean? Like they're building the shows around Cody.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, and I mean, I'm just going by on stuff I've read, is that Cody and Seth maybe not have like legitimate heat, but they're not really that big of fans of each other.
No, they don't like each other.
Don't have to be. So this was a nice little surprise for the show. No one really knew that Cena was going to come out, but there was reports he's making a movie over there, so it did make sense once he came out. And he's really selling this London WrestleMania thing, but it doesn't look like it's going to be for a couple years if they can make it happen.
You see how Triple H got pissed off during a press conference? He goes, thanks, John. Thanks,
he's
John.
Playing into it.
That's all a work.
Yeah,
so,
he's playing.
I thought it was funny.
It's good though.
Listen, AEW has sold 74,000 tickets. 74,000 tickets. They have Tony Khan's come out and said they were at 65,000. He said the gate was over $8 million.
It's crazy.
Do you think for one goddamn second that WWE is going to let AEW have the record for the highest grossing show?
No.
It's not going to happen.
And that's matches are made for All In yet
either. The whole reason that tease is WWE as of late, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's Puerto Rico, whether it was this London show, they're charging fees like the NFL does to bring big shows to your place. And that's all that was. They're trying to get London or England or the United Kingdom or whoever it's going to pony up, whatever tourism thing is going to pony up to pay for a WrestleMania and then to shatter AEW's record because they're not going to let that stand. They're not going to let that sit.
And they'll easily shatter it, but it shouldn't be a comparison, but I see definitely where you're coming from. And once they start announcing matches for All In, it could go over 80.
Well, they said right now they have it planned out for 84,600 and some. So they're only 10,000 away from selling that out.
That's crazy.
And they said they could possibly get another 4,000 to 6,000 seats out by opening up like this one area and pushing the set back a little further or something like that. So I mean, potentially you could have 85 to 90,000 people, which I mean, just in the realm of anything for AEW is fucking insane.
Well, even if you think back, and I talked about this when they first announced this, they've already surpassed the biggest WCW show of all time, or any other program other than WWE.
I mean, even Meltzer, Fightful, all those guys, all the regular wrestling media were saying if they sell 40,000, it's a win.
It's a win.
60,000, it's a win. Well, they're well over that now. I mean, they're at they're sitting at 74 and change.
Tony Khan's got to put some good shit together for that. He can't disappoint that crowd. I'm really interested on what he's going to throw together for that. I really am.
Well, the whole thing about it is they can't go out and just fucking pull names to pull names. Like, yes, you could have like one or two special attractions. Like I saw the rumors of Goldberg possibly, maybe his retirement, maybe Sting's retirement. Although Sting has said he's not ready to retire. But what you do have to do is right now it seems like they're building Cole and MJF to that show. I don't think Cole and MJF is big enough of a main event for that show. And I'm not knocking Cole and MJF.
Danielson's hurt. He won't be able to fight during it. So
the bits were fucking hilarious. The feud's going to be great. The match they already have was great. But that's just not like your main event has to be Punk.
Yeah, we'll get
Punk's
to
your
AEW.
biggest star. Honestly, it needs to be Punk versus Omega.
All right, we'll get to AEW. So this match is the thing, unfortunately, Doc, that took your title away from you from 5 shows in a row. I was the only one that picked Io Sky, and I think the way she did it was cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
Have we ever seen that before?
No.
Have we ever seen someone handcuff 2 people and climb over someone to get up
and
to the
sacrificing someone from your own faction?
DJ, you're froze. Go out and come back.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. How they broke this down. Now, I thought it was going to go a couple of different ways, but Io, it's going to be interesting to see how they work her, because she's not like on the mic a lot. Where's she going to cash in?
Now, see, you saw it on Raw, though. Did you? I loved how they did that. She just walked over. Just like shaking the case at her, not saying much.
True.
Talking in another language, like you don't know what the hell she's saying to her. She might be saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm totally saying this to you, but I'm totally going for the other girl." You know, like just.
It worked when Asuka was doing that for a while, coming out and yelling all crazy.
That's actually what I want to see. I want to see her cash in on Asuka, and I want to see them just screaming at each other in another language. We already saw it a little bit. You know, they teased that feud a little while ago, but they're not going to take the title off Ripley. And I'd much rather see Asuka and Io, who are real life friends, go at it. And I think that would be hilarious if they just start fucking torturing each other, and you have no idea what's going on. Just like, you know, have Asuka doing her like evil Asuka thing that we've all been wanting, torturing Io, but like Io's so innocent with the way she talks and the way she carries herself. Honestly, like she's not, even though she's been in a heel faction, Io doesn't come across as a heel, which is why the fans have got behind her.
I disagree with that. I mean, the innocent part, no. She's kind of vicious on her own level. She's very very poised, very like predator-ish.
I think people are going to be more susceptible to cheer for her than boo her, though. Like I think people.
I feel like the reason they've got behind her is her demeanor, though. Like I get what you're saying, Doc, and yeah, she can be vicious in the ring, but her overall demeanor, like you just want to like her. Like she has that charisma where like you just kind of like her and you don't really know why. Like she's just, you know what I mean? Like
both briefcases got my attention, and going forward, I'm interested to see where it goes. Now, this match, we all pretty much figured what was going to happen, and Seth keeping the title. I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything to add for this match going forward.
I'm a little confused. I thought Seth and Cody got along great, and I actually thought they were all about being like that new Flair Dusty type rivalry. You know what I mean?
No,
glad you brought that up.
Becky's actually even talked about it.
Little foreshadowing for what's coming later with the Flair Dusty thing. I appreciate that, Doc. We'll talk. We'll revisit that. I was hoping it was going to be Jimmy to get the shot. Can't be mad that Jay's going to get the shot. Roman getting pinned was a nice surprise. The bloodline storyline is nowhere close to being over, people. I highly doubt it. What do you guys think of the main event?
It was a great match.
Very dramatic. I mean, it wasn't just a great match. It was good cinema too. Because
it's like watching a movie.
It was just so back and forth, and just the way they did it, man.
I've said it 100 times. Nobody plays this character better than Roman Reigns right now. The facial expressions, him talking from the apron, even after he lost, the meltdown he had outside the ring. I mean, he's so locked in on another level that anything he's involved in is going to be amazing.
Jay ain't taking the title off him at SummerSlam, is he?
Not my Roman Reigns. Did you tell me follow?
I mean, it started with Jay and Roman, and it's back with Jay and Roman. So I get that part of full circle, the Jay and Roman thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I was Jimmy, I'd be like, "What? When did I get my shot at Roman?"
Actually, even the way Jay pinned Roman was the same way he pinned him the first time he beat him on the main roster. Way back when Roman first came up, the same splash. Because if you notice, Jimmy doesn't really do that like hip smack splash. That was kind of like whenever they were the Island Usos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the way he did that splash. The same way before he pinned Roman. So they're harkening back. They're throwing back, and there's going to be some kind of swerve. I think it's going to be more new members joining at SummerSlam that cost Jay the title. Obviously, Jay's not going to get the title, but they're going to put on a great match. There's going to be tons of false finishes. It's going to be fucking entertaining.
The trial of Roman, though, is there going to be like? Is anyone going to? You think any outside people come in for that? I think we might see Rikishi during that.
I think we should see Rikishi, and I think we should see maybe Alpha.
I want to hear Heyman defending Roman once the Usos put him on trial, and Heyman is like the guy trying to defend Roman, because that has to be
the defense attorney.
Yeah, put the mic in his hand.
I think it'll be good.
We're gonna head over to AEW and try to make some sense of what's going down this week, and then we got a little game to play at the end to have some fun. All right. So before we get to actually talking a little bit about Collision and Dynamite and what's going on there and what we're leading up to, this was very interesting. I want to see the rest of this show now, but Eddie Kingston winning the Openweight Championship for New Japan Strong. He got emotional afterwards and everything. I love this guy with a belt. I want to see him more with titles. So
well, he's passionate, man, especially about, this culture of wrestling. He's on his phone all the time watching it. Like, I mean, I've been told this by people that have been backstage at AEW. He just loves to watch and study, and like he is just all about this background. And I think it's great that he actually won a title that he's dreamed of winning since he started in this business. So congratulations, Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Well, Bully Ray came out in defense of Eddie too on Busted Open the other day and just talked about like how Tony Khan, like, you need to push this guy. You like, it doesn't matter that he's not in shape. It doesn't matter. Like, he's the everyman that everybody loves. Like, honestly, Bully compared him to a Dusty Rhodes type. Like, he's the guy that you feel like and can do, and he wants to see him push him to the moon. And honestly, you can't really disagree. Eddie got over on his own entirely. He was only supposed to be brought in for a one-off match against Cody and got over and got a contract. And then he was only going to be an enhancement talent. And he got over and became a main player. And then he was only going to be this. No matter what obstacle you set up for Eddie, he comes through. And why not give him the ball more? Like, make him a main player. He should be a main player. Like, I know he's sort of dancing with that with Mox a little bit right now. Mm-hmm. And obviously Mox has all the faith. They're real life, legit friends. But, man, I want to see more of Eddie. I don't care how sloppy the matches are. I don't care that he's not the most technical wrestler. I don't care that he has a beer gut. He's fucking entertaining.
The two guys I like to watch the most right now because they're so natural when they're talking and when they're fighting. It's him and Kevin Owens. Eddie and Kevin Owens are so natural with how they react. They're funny to me. I like their little jibs and jabs and stuff. Anything they do, I'm good with. Last night, this is the wrong freaking graphic because they added the other match too. All right. Well, we can still talk about it. Maybe. For fuck's sake. Ruby going over Britt in the tournament. MJF and Adam Cole are so much fun to watch together.
That is pure entertainment at its finest.
People are saying they're reminding them of DX type stuff, the way they're acting. I've seen some DX, not comparing them literally, but the way they're acting and banter is kind of DX-y. It's kind of fun. I dig it. I don't want to see it end. I mean, it's so fun just to see those two work together.
What cracked me up about it is he's on his Twitch streams. He's popping up on those now. And he's like, hey, I got this and I got this. And I just love how Adam Cole's like, Jesus. But I love the end of that. Whenever he was like, I'm going to shove his face in the cake like a friend. And then Adam Cole just turned it on him. And then actually literally said, I really appreciate everything you did. Thank you. And like actually was genuinely thankful for the surprise. But, simple fact is I'm looking forward to seeing how far these guys go in the tournament. Do I hope they go all the way? No. I don't see that. I see an implosion and Adam Cole finally getting his shot again at that AEW Heavyweight Championship.
We now have the outlook of the tournament, which I'll get to here in a second, so you can kind of draw our own conclusions. But before we do that, Don Callis's family. You guys have any thoughts on who he might bring in for his family? First, the tease with Jericho was gold. I love that. I'm a big Jericho guy. Right?
I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind it. Like, let's call a spade here. Inner Circle was great. JAS has not been. I'm not saying there hasn't been entertaining moments with the JAS, because there have been. But Matt Menard and Angelo Parker are fucking entertaining as hell on their own. They don't need Jericho. Guevara obviously doesn't need Jericho. Danny Garcia, while he did need Jericho, and that was a great thing, he's kind of fallen into like the just straight lackey, and I think he's kind of treading water now with Jericho. And Hager never mattered. Hager's just a spot thing that comes in once in a while, has an awesome match, and he can do that whether he's with Jericho or not. So you really don't need the JAS anymore. Him and Callis having that connection. And then also, I think Jericho needs a little bit of time away. He doesn't need to be on Dynamite every single week like he has been really for the last 3 years. I mean, can you even think of a time when Jericho was away for more than a week or two at all.
Him and Moxley have been like the staple of AEW.
And not that that's a
now
bad
Orange
thing, but
too.
Not that that's a bad thing, but you put him in a stable with Callis where he's not the main figure. He doesn't have to be on TV every week, or at least not the focal point and the mouthpiece every week.
Who else?
It doesn't hurt.
I've heard rumors this could be how Goldberg comes in as a henchman for Callis.
Oh, hell no.
But who could join this family?
No.
You guys got any thoughts of who he could bring in? I mean,
I think it should all be foreign guys. Minus Jericho.
Takeshita would be. He's already kind of working with him, and
well, he also did the kind of spot thing with Ospreay, and we know that Aussie Open. But
True.
have him bringing guys from New Japan or guys that are kind of that need a mouthpiece. I mean, honestly, like Takeshita. Takeshita can play a great cocky heel, but he's not good on the mic. His English isn't great. Aussie Open are fantastic in the ring, but on the mic they're kind of lackluster. Ospreay doesn't need the help, but Ospreay's not going to be in AEW every week. He's only going to be here and there. So having him as part of the family again, where there's the threat of we can bring Will in if we need to, you know what I mean? Like it makes sense. And that's where I think it should stick with. Honestly, I don't want to throw spoilers out there, but I think we all know the Rampage taping. They announced they're bringing their partner in for Blood and Guts. You've seen the graphic where there's a person missing.
There's one missing on each side.
That's most likely going to be Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
I would like to see Ibushi be one of Callis's guys too. Make him turn on Kenny as well.
That's a good one because he got that connection with Kenny. So
they're well documented. They've been tag team partners.
Yeah.
They were Golden Lovers. They were the Golden Elite. Whenever
that would make sense.
What I mean? So have Ibushi in that Blood and Guts match turn on Kenny, and then it's just like literally like everybody I've trusted and loved keeps turning on me.
It give me like really Heenan family vibes and stuff, like old school. Like he's not trying to make a weird name for his faction. This is the Don Callis family. Like I hope it's very intriguing on where they're going to go with that.
Think about it. Back in the day, you had the Bobby Heenan family.
Yep. If I said the Heenan family, you had Paul Jones' Army, you had a couple different ones like that. So this is what we predicted to be the Final Four in this tournament, and most of us are thinking it's going to be Starks and Punk as well. I'm still leaning towards that. And this is going to go down this Saturday, both of these matches. And Joe and Punk, I mean, they're selling the whole Punk hasn't beat him, right? So now's his time to do it. So it makes sense. More WrestleSense there. And Starks Hobbs, I don't know. They have history too. So the semifinals make sense. And I want to see Punk Starks and see where that goes.
Powerhouse.
I really wish they get like a title. How about Nick Wayne finally getting his shot?
Finally.
So, and I think Swerve is a nice first match for him next week. The kids, did he finally turn 18 or something? Because I know they haven't.
Yeah,
they've had him signed.
18.
They've had him signed for over like a year or so since that. But it's going to be interesting to see how he goes. Inject some more youth and into the roster. Can't wait to see him. I've only seen bits and parts of. Man, I forgot to update this one too. I got a much clearer. I have to have shitty ones, but I thought I updated them. Anywho, the winner of this will face Darby and Orange Cassidy. All right. And then
I hope it's Jarrett and Hardy. I think that's going to be hilarious.
And then the winner of the second one, the winner of the second one takes on MJF and Adam Cole.
Oh, wow.
So I don't see how it's not going to be MJF and Adam Cole in the finals. I like the big Bill and Cage thing. That's too.
I do think it's going to be MJF and Cole in the finals.
Against Orange and Darby?
I think it's Guevara and Garcia.
Okay.
I think they go through over. And then I actually think you're wrong, too, about Punk. I didn't want to interject because you were kind of on a roll there. But I think it's going to be Punk and Hobbs. I think Doc was trying to get that across as well. Okay. I think it's going to be Powerhouse over.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I mean, I like the Hobbs has history with Starks. I mean, I saw it live. I mean, Hobbs went right through him. They kind of made that match a squash. I think there's time constraints myself, but like I said, Hobbs I think Hobbs is a talent that they're underutilizing, and I want to see them do more with him.
And I'm going to tell you right now that I think the Owen Hart winners are CM Punk and Ruby Soho.
Okay. Speaking of time constraints, let me go back a little bit. Let's talk about the end of the show. Kenny Omega and Yuta. A lot of people were bitching because they cut off whenever Evil Uno and them came in, took the chair off of him. I loved it. It's a cliffhanger. It reminded me of Nitro.
I was gonna say it harkens back to the
WCW Saturday Night
wrestling where chaos is going on and they gotta cut away.
We're out of time.
WCW Saturday Night was the best for that. We're out of time, and then it would just cut it, and you were like, okay. And this is what occurred when we went off the air. I hope they do that next Wednesday, or even on Rampage. Even why not?
I was watching a watch along where he's in the UK and he's had BT Sports. When that happened and ended it here, they got to watch the rest of it in the UK. The cameras rolled for another 2 minutes, which is basically nothing happened. But
Yeah.
He got to see the end. People thought it was a mistake that it ended then. I think it was a perfect time to end the show.
Mm-hmm.
Cliffhangers are great in wrestling, in my opinion. So it's going to be very interesting where that goes. Let's talk about this. A while back, there was a Facebook page that did these wrestling rivalry brackets. Obviously, we had our own ideas of what it should be and everything. But this first one was WWF Attitude and Old School WWF. And it came down to Vince and Austin, it's monumental as far as a feud. And then the second bracket, I didn't really watch WWF this much in this era, but Cena and Orton came out of this one, which, some of us had differences in opinions. Now here, Sammy and the Bloodline with the current WWE back in ECW and NXT time over Bryan and the Authority. And I'm going to summarize this here in a second. I got a place I'm going. Dusty and Flair, which Doc brought up earlier. Mm-hmm. Steen and Jericho. A lot of you guys had Steen and Jericho going to the finals and even winning this one. But Dusty and Flair, I think, is iconic. So now we are down to Austin and Vince, Cena and Orton. And then in the other one, Dusty and Flair, Sammy and the Bloodline. And what this channel is doing on Facebook is they're letting the fans vote. If you hit the care button or that button, they vote and who goes next. So it's a fan vote. So we're down to Vince and Austin, Dusty and Flair. So I'm going to ask both of you guys. We'll start with Ray. Your most important feud in professional wrestling history. If you had to choose between these two, what would it be?
Austin and Vince.
And elaborate. I think I know where you're going to go.
Austin and Vince single-handedly brought WWE back from the brink of death and propelled them to beat WCW, changing the landscape of wrestling forever. Flair and Dusty is iconic. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I fucking loved it. Honestly, if I had to go back, and that's one of the things that I watch the most of is going back and watching Dusty's documentary and Flair's documentary, because I love watching those old promos and stuff. They're great. But the impact on the business that Austin and Vince had of taking WWE, which was ready to go bankrupt and being, killed by Turner's WCW, not just beat in the ratings, murdered in the ratings. And when you hear some of those things about, the financial situation of WWE at the time and how dire and how close he was to legit having to close. And then literally like a fucking lightning bolt, King of the Ring happens. Austin 316 happens. Vince thing happens. And I mean, literally they just sold for what? $9 billion.
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? That feud changed the trajectory of not only the company, but of wrestling as we know it. Period.
And who doesn't want to beat up their boss? That's part of it too. It relates to the general public. Everyone get the
Mine's
chance
my
to
wife, so that would be domestic violence.
Wow.
So, Doc, what about you between these two? You feel the same or what?
I was gonna say Dusty and Flair, but after listening to one of my favorite people in the world next to me here, he makes a lot of sense. And the reason I say that is, if you think about it, Flair and Dusty, when I was a little kid, I wanted to see Dusty get Flair. And it didn't happen until Starrcade 85 in that cage. And when he defeated him for that NWA, World Heavyweight Championship. However, when you look at Austin, you look at Vince, I mean, just a simple fact, the chase to give Vince the stunner alone was something to keep you on the edge of your seat. The simple fact is, oh, Christ, really? Honest God, he shows up like a rash. So, I mean, it's just a simple fact that, you have this simple fact is this whole Austin chasing his boss, and, everybody's hating Vince because why? You sent Bret Hart to WCW.
Yeah.
Your being a prick did this. And the simple fact is they took that boundary. They took that border, like he was saying earlier, and they crossed it. They blurred the lines of reality and pro wrestling, which was phenomenal. So, oh my God, he's still going. But like I said, I have to agree, Austin and Vince.
I agree that it was super impactful. But for me personally, because I was more of a WCW guy, here's how I look at it. Yes, it changed the industry of wrestling, Austin and Vince, because there was a lot more, to me, outside of the ring. Because Vince did get in the ring, but it was all about the whole scenario between those two. For me,
the other thing you have to think about though too is like I get where you're about to go here.
In ring,
foreshadowing, but the in ring. I mean, that was the three faces of Foley were brought on because of that feud, and Vince McMahon, the corporate ministry, and the change that it influenced a lot more than just the Austin Vince feud of the hierarchy. We got to see The Rock in Austin. That started because of Vince, because of the corporation, and that was what elevated Rocky to the main event scene and Rock to the main event scene. And like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Dusty and Flair. Yeah. But I want you to think about the impact that Flair and Steamboat as a feud had.
It's another one.
Flair and Sting had. Flair was great at making these overarching things, and the Horsemen putting hard times, no pun intended, on whoever the next big baby face was and the next big thing was. And they were all great. And the reason Dusty stands head and toes above everybody else is because Dusty is one of the best promos in the business and Mr. Believable. But if you look at from sheer number standpoint, from sheer impact standpoint, it's not even close.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
Flair
I'm not disagreeing with
crazy numbers. Don't get me wrong, and it's iconic. But literally, Austin and Vince changed the business.
Yes, if we're talking about the most impactful feud in the world of professional wrestling, I did my thesis in college on the effect of Michael Jordan in sports and marketing. He didn't only change the game on the court. Jerseys, shoes, marketing, how people looked at sports. So yes, Austin and Vince changed the complete game, made wrestling what it is. I'm just making the argument for Dusty Flair as an in-ring thing. If you want to go more in-ring, I'd go Dusty Flair. More impact on the wrestling business completely, definitely Austin Vince. There's a no-brainer. They're both the two best feuds, I think. I mean, I don't know if there's any other ones I'd put up there with those two as far as really affecting the business in and out of the ring. So I thought it was a nice little fun thing to look at. What people thought overall. Let's go to now. Keep in mind, this is not best entrance music. This is not favorite entrance music. There were 35 on here. I'm going to go through these 20 that was one person on Wrestling Inc. did last year. So it's their opinion for the 20 on which ones they think are the most recognizable themed entrances. So we're going to talk about that with our little game show here and our final. So I know there's going to be people that are going to be shouting, this should be on there, that should be on there. So after the 20, I have another list of like 20 that are also impactful from looking at other lists. So Maria Cinto, October 4th, 2020, I'll give the right credit. Wrestling Inc. She put out this. There was like 35 of them. I'm just going to go over the 20, and then there's a list of some more that we want to go over that are the most recognizable entrance themes. Like I probably wouldn't have this one in the top 20, but recognizable. Okay. You'll get the vibe once we get closer to the end and see the extra list. Ryse, once it kicks off, yes, very recognizable. When it comes out, you know who it is at number 19. I just want to go into like top 40. This is your top 40. Ruby Soho, it's a Rancid song. You're going to see a lot of like non-wrestling made themes, but themes that were brought in that are recognizable outside of wrestling too, like this song. Darby's theme song has become pretty recognizable. I don't know if I'd put it in the top 20, but definitely recognizable. Jungle Boy, of course, which I think he needs to drop it now that he's doing the whole heel thing, but great 80s one-hit wonder song at number 16. Obviously, when you hear You hear the ice, you hear the glass break, you know he's coming out. So Austin, definitely one of the most recognizable, if you ask me. Undertaker has a couple that were pretty recognizable over the years, but rest in peace, definitely. Damn, his eyeballs are freaky. Always freaks me out. Nakamura with his entrance music is kind of recognizable with the, when he starts to come out, you know who it is. So number 13.
Yeah,
and once I show
Austin and Taker.
Yeah, I know. It's one person's opinion. That's why I have a whole list afterwards so we can discuss it. I don't know much about this song, but when he's come out in AEW, people fucking know the song.
I was gonna say it's not an American. I mean, the American fans know it now, but in Japan, this is like
huge.
This is basically like Seth Rollins' theme song right now.
You can't cut it short either. You're not allowed to cut his entrance short. It's like a brawl, and they did it once on AEW, and he about flipped shit.
I don't want.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna come back.
I don't be on the wrong side of that guy at all. Him or Ishii. Dragunov's, I don't know how it must be a personal favorite of this person. Why Dragunov?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what the fuck?
I don't think it would go on this list for me, especially not 11. Voodoo Child, obviously from Hogan when he started using that, it was very iconic. I'm a mark for people. This is my favorite of all time. I mean, because I'm a Road Warrior mark. But when you heard that, you knew these bastards were coming out.
But the thing was, they beat the shit out of him through the whole song. The song didn't stop. That's what I loved about it.
All the hair is standing up on my arms right now.
Legion Doom's one of my favorites too.
Definitely. I mean, just spine chilling when you hear the beginning of that song when those dudes come out. Even made them even more badass. Ain't No Grave, another Undertaker one. Which I probably would have put another one.
That was
Kenna, I love you. Leave Hogan alone, please. Seriously, God, no, this man has such a hatred.
Who has a hatred for Hogan?
Kenna, a friend of mine, William Kenna. He hates Hogan. Like Facebook, if you just want to think bad thoughts about Hulk Hogan, go to his Facebook, everybody. He knows I'm messing around. My God, they hate Daniels.
Now, this is the one where I think there's a theme for a couple of these ones in the top 7, which are like, I don't want to say old, like, I don't know what the word would be, the type of songs. Like, this is one. I don't want to have historical songs, like Randy Savage is another one. I mean, I think of like, was it the Grand March or something when he comes out? But
dude, I don't care what Pomp and Circumstance. Yeah, it gets played for other stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're at a graduation and Pomp and Circumstance stops playing, you see somebody like,
definitely. So definitely in the top 10. This one would make my top 10 regardless. Cult of Personality, definitely very recognizable. Keep in mind, folks, recognizable entrance themes.
Living Color is touring off of that shit like crazy after they were retired. I saw one video of their lead singer. They were playing a thing at Disney, and this motherfucker's eating a turkey leg on stage during Cult of Personality, and he'd take a bite and then stick the mic out so that all the people could sing along so he could chew his fucking turkey leg. That dude is living life.
I loved Living Color back in the day, and I'm not talking about the TV show, the band itself, because Vernon Reid was one of my favorite guitar players.
Vernon Reid was amazing.
And so was the drummer. I don't know his name offhand.
One of the most underrated guitarists ever.
Yes.
Ever.
But he gives no fucks anymore. That video I just saw of them, all the rest of the guys are in suits and shit. He's in a t-shirt, and he is playing it at like plus 20 beats per minute tempo, just trying to get through it like like it doesn't even sound like the fucking song. Because he just gives no fucks anymore.
But maybe he's just old and senile. That happens.
Yeah, they're getting up there. No, I don't give a shit attitude.
I forget to wipe my ass at times.
I do what I want.
It happens.
Wild Thing by Moxley. I definitely have a bunch more over this, but it's definitely recognizable when it comes out. You'll see a lot of the list when it comes to the end. Here's another one of those historical songs where you hear the song, you know it's Piper when he comes out. I didn't know that was the name of it, but now I do. 2 and 1.
Bonnie Lass.
On this day, you know when you hear this, you know he's coming out, and you get the.
I watched this man over here. Almost kill a child in the back seat. You could consider him a child. We had a friend who was going brr, 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 and he was making fun of it. Like we were in the middle of the city. He stops, kicks it into park, and just jumps from the driver's seat into the back seat and starts beating the shit out of this kid. We couldn't stand him, but
Jesus,
it was some funny stuff.
Well,
you remember? I know some fun time.
Ear, and it's on this day. He's in my ear going. so I beat the shit out of it. I couldn't take it.
It was
there's another
amazing.
song I like to ruin that's going to come up in the other list, and I know a lot of people love this theme song, but I hate it, and I made people in my community never want to hear it again after I was singing it and making fun of it. We'll talk about that one in a minute.
I just want to hear Cartman do a cover of Metalingus.
Oh, jeez.
Right there.
Kitty.
I'm out of here. Judas definitely recognizable. Got a bunch of people singing it, but there's a lot that were not on that list. So let's see the. I don't want to call them honorable mention because these are some great ones. Real American by Hogan. The Rock Says for Rock. Here's the one I fucking hate. I hate Shawn Michaels' theme song. It's one of the worst theme songs of all time.
You're a
Why?
hater.
That's your boy, not your boy.
Yeah, it worked. You know, the bad,
I like
he
the
never
better
had to
when
change
Scary
it.
Jerry sang it.
It's
But he
terrible.
never had to change it, though, Blaze.
That's
And by the way,
terrible.
they pay people to sing it. You know why? So you don't have to. What I'm trying to say is, how do you think it's okay? You're saying it's terrible, but really, think about it for a minute.
I got the moves. I think I'm sexy.
I know
That's a
it was
terrible
nothing.
I got
song.
the moves that really move you.
Yeah, I'm
But the
down.
I think somebody's
terrible.
jealous that they didn't think of it.
It's
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous. All right. Bad reputation.
What's
by-
funny, though, is that the 60-year-old man out there shaking his ass to I'm just a sexy boy. That's when it gets funny.
As I said, many people love that song and love Shawn Michaels. I think it's one of the worst theme songs ever because it sounds ridiculous to me. Obviously, the game from Motorhead was a big one. Voices for
Yes.
Orton.
Apparently,
Thing-
they just redid Voices. They contacted Rev Theory. The guy from Rev Theory posted it on his, I think his Instagram or something like that. They were just in the studio and did a revamped version. So we might actually be getting a newer, heavier version of Voices.
Triple
you,
Beat, I
Triple
normally
B.
agree with you.
Thank
It's
you, Triple
iconically terrible.
Oh,
It's supposed to
hater,
be
you're such a
obnoxious.
hater.
Yeah, I get
thank you,
that.
monster. Thank you. That's what we're
I
trying.
get it. It's a bad
God.
song. Really bad.
But the fact that he made it work all these
Did he,
years,
though?
he never changed it.
For you,
How didn't he?
he's a sexy
He's
boy.
never really changed it. You
I
think
mean,
about it, he only changed the
Take
what?
it
With
into
the voice.
context
That was
now.
it.
Would a song called "Sexy Boy" come out nowadays? I think not.
Oh
What's
my
that,
Be in a little bit
god!
of trouble.
It's still
If you
people.
went by that and cancel culture,
Yeah,
like literally, there'd be two people in an '80s wrestling locker room. They were
they
all
wouldn't have
fucking
any rappers from the
cokeheads and
'90s either.
pedophiles.
I don't know about
Evidently out of the
pedophiles. The coke
Um,
though, it ran. Oof.
Please,
Seek and Destroy
dude,
for Sting. Next big thing for Brock.
I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not even going to get
No.
into it.
The
You wanna
Brock
get
thing,
some
as soon as you
racist,
hear that
drughead
music-
pedophiles that-
I was not. I never said that. I never said that. Maybe I wasn't going in that direction. Sexy boys, though. You know, you gotta. Are you ready? DX in Invasion Goldberg's theme. I didn't know NWA's song was called Rock House, but apparently that's what it's called. It sounds like a porno, but that's a great song too. Stranglehold by Von Erichs. I remember watching those WCCW shows outdoors in Texas
Yep.
and hearing Stranglehold coming out. I remember when I was in a band, you guys might remember Jeremy Hickson, my guitar player. He literally slowed down Stranglehold and made a song out of it. I was like, it sounds so familiar. And then finally I heard Stranglehold. I'm like, he fucking stole Stranglehold and just slowed it down. That was one of our songs. RVD's Walk, Pantera, iconic. Same with Enter Sandman. Same with Freebird.
Now see, no Bad Street, Atlanta, GA.
Yeah, that too.
Bad Street. That was so much better.
It's more corny, hokey than Freebird, but when they come out to
Oh
Freebird
my
back in the
god,
day-
you're such a hater. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm the hater.
Oh,
No Chance in Hell 2, very recognizable. So this list, I mean, is there any that you guys out there or you two did not see on the top 20 or
Yes.
yes.
And Blaze, you are a salty prick.
I like to be salty person.
Deep Purple, Perfect Stranger for the franchise. When you hear those organs come on, even though he fucking hates that song, but when you heard those organs come on, man, like, I don't know, maybe if it's just my age group, but like, it was just like oh, fuck yeah. And I'll tell you this, I'll give full credit where credit's due. We all know that I'm a mark for the franchise. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not. I am.
No.
But the way his entrance was when Francine would walk out and he'd do the heartbeat and he'd open the ropes for her, nobody to this day has given their valet that kind of spotlight, that kind of respect in their entrance. And that's what made it iconic, was like the way that they fucking played together walking out to the ring and sauntered. It made her the hottest bitch walking. And like, while you think, well, he's taking a back seat, that made him such a cocky, swaggery, arrogant prick. And I fucking loved it.
He was the best. He was one of the
JJ
best.
Rump, you can hate me all you want. It's a fucking horrible song, and you're a horrible person yourself. Bad Street, I dug it. I'm not saying I'm not hating.
Thank you, Monstar. Thank you.
I'm not hating on that one, but you guys probably like Jeff Jarrett's wacky ass corny country song too.
No. Be my baby tonight. Yeah,
I like. I totally forgot. I didn't realize, but whenever Matt Hardy, and he may have called him this before, he called him the nuts of slap the other night when he got picked, and I haven't heard that, and I just had to laugh.
Another one that was left off the list, and again, I guess we're snapshotting, for you, because you're a little bit older than me, like you go back and you say about the NWA and how much it meant to you. And I was a huge NWA mark myself. My grandpa.
ECW had,
but ECW was like, that was my adolescence. But
yeah,
God, I hope you say what
by Kiss would start to play.
God of Thunder.
Fucking Taz would come out with that towel over his head.
My God,
was it a vibe?
How much money?
It's funny that I was going to say that, and then you
with all the copyrights now, how much would Paulie have to spend to get all those songs now?
He can never afford it.
Yeah, he couldn't afford it. It would be
Kiss alone would have probably cost him his fucking firstborn child. Because Gene Simmons is a money grubbing son of a bitch. So he'd be like, I want $600,000 every time it plays.
Dudley's always been about the cat scratch fever.
Dudley's a good one.
Or he would have been like, we're gonna have another wrestler named the God of fucking Thunder in ECW now. If you want to play the song like he did to WCW when they had the fucking demon.
Oh God, Dale Torshorn.
Yeah. So we got a vote for Robert Roode's theme, kind of recognizable.
Good.
Glorious.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good one. That's a very good one.
Kofi's first song.
Recognizable.
Yeah.
Again, these are all good themes, but when you say the list of iconic, to me it has to be something that. But to me, like it has to be something. If this was on, if you had your phone on fucking random, sitting, playing Bluetooth through a speaker, and this song came on, can you immediately see the entire entrance of the wrestler? Can you see them walking out to the ring, the crowd reaction, what they were wearing, their fucking gear, the whole 9 yards? That to me is the iconic entrance theme. When that song can elicit that kind of, when Austin's glass breaks, and you hear that music, you automatically see him coming out, middle fingers up, head bobbing, the crowd going fucking crazy. When Taker's bell hits, you see the steam and the smoke and the fucking glow of the arena. I left off this list Bray Wyatt's original theme whenever that hit, and you could see the fireflies through the.
It was like 22 or 23, and then that list. And like I said, this is just one person's opinion. I just wanted to spark conversation and talk about it because this is one thing
that to me is what makes it iconic. Is like if you can elicit that.
Eddie
now
Gilbert.
Some newbies.
Hot stuff. Didn't he come out the hot stuff, baby?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That's a good one.
Now, the thing is, with some of the newbies that are out there now, some of the new songs, you think about like iconic ones so far. I still say Ciampa. Ciampa, No One Will Survive is such. And when they brought it back, that crowd went nuts.
Yes, it is.
The New Day is a good one. I was about to say New Day.
This is a conversation I absolutely love. That's why I wanted to bring it up. The Hunter
like right now too, like Adam Cole's theme is fucking iconic.
Yes, even MJF gave props to it.
Yeah,
set him up when they came down to the ring like this. I want to see so much more of that.
MJF theme, I absolutely agree. Like some of them are becoming iconic to the point where again you hear it and you can just see the whole thing.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it like even going back all the fucking way, like. When you hear Flair's theme, like you can see the robes, you know what I mean? Like, that
Sandman, I really Sandman. I could think every time I hear Enter Sandman now, I do think of him bashing a beer and holding and coming out through the crowd, as opposed to thinking of a Metallica concert. So, and I've talked about this before. For me, entrance can make or break a wrestler. Obviously, your in ring is going to be number one, but
dude, if we're talking about the Sandman.
I'm talking about in general.
Pac can't work for shit.
Yeah. I'm talking about
I
in
love him
general.
to death. He's one of the coolest fucking people I've ever met and hung out with. But Hack can't work his way out of a paper bag. He was all entrance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
If Hack had a match where he spent 10 minutes coming through the crowd and fighting in the crowd and beat people up, and then the in-ring itself, once he stepped through the ropes, lasted less than 3 minutes, that was an amazing fucking Sandman match.
Yeah, they get mad at Moxley bleeding every match. He bled before he got to the ring.
If it flipped and he had a 3-minute entrance and a 10-minute in-ring match, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, true. But I love entrances. I love entrances. I love the music behind them. I love the creativity that people get. And
another one not on here is Foley's. You hear that car crash?
Yep, that's another good one. Razor Ramon. So that's what I mean. Like, and it is the first couple seconds. If you can tell who it is by the first couple seconds, I think that's recognizable. That makes it a little more iconic too.
You could either say right now or back in the day, what is one of your favorite wrestling themes ever? Like a certain theme of a wrestler that comes out to the ring. Anybody. Go ahead. First one that hits your head.
He's going to look at the list.
He doesn't have to be those ones. It could be anyone. Even one that come to your mind. Anything?
Cody.
Okay.
Cody's
I
a
knew
good
it.
one.
I kind of figured he's going to go Cody.
That's a good one.
That song from here on out, I mean, Cody went out on his own and paid that band to do that.
Now, I scared the shit out of my wife 2 days ago because she was bitching about something and we were eating dinner and I just went, whoa, and she jumped. It was
But I thought that'd be a fun exercise just to get us talking about theme songs, which I'm a big mark for. I love theme songs.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got some rivalries and reason for definitely both of those to be in the finals. And I do agree that the Vince thing definitely makes sense, and that's what I've heard from the actual comments in that post on Facebook. So we got a lot of stuff heading towards in the summer to talk about, but we got to end the day. All right. We started with Ray, so let's start with Doc for the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that's right, the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, RWA, will be running this Saturday night. I'm excited to say that the Rev Ron Hunt will be defending the RWA Heavyweight Championship against Impact's own John Schuyler. Cool. Is going to be one hell of an event. Doors are at 6, bell time's at 7. I hope to see you all there. Hope to see you up there, maybe. You're usually busy on Saturdays, but I'm just saying, be a good time.
I'm coming back
whenever. I
whenever.
don't have a wedding, so there might be a possibility.
CJ's not here, so he can't defend himself, but I'm coming back whenever Team Smut is reunited in 2024.
Yeah, we'll see.
CJ's going to kill me for that one.
Monstar, you complete me at the end of the day. I'm done.
Oh.
Hey, Frankenstein, Universal Monster fans alike, that's fine.
True. Ray, at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, Money in the Bank was fairly fucking entertaining. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to a great summer of wrestling, though. Like, the end of summer is going to be on fire. We get Blood and Guts on Dynamite. We get All In London. We get SummerSlam. We get All Out in Chicago. It's going to be a really good hotbed of the end of summer. And I'm really hating all the hate on the ratings and shit of wrestling. Collision's a brand new show.
Yeah,
like,
fuck ratings.
Who gives a shit? Watch it and be fucking happy. As long as they don't get canceled, who cares? Bitching about, look, so AEW didn't sell out fucking Vagina Canada and only sold 7,000 tickets. They just sold 75,000 in London. The company's fine.
Yeah.
Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York is going to sell out. Chicago's going to sell out. Because they're not selling out Vagina Canada, who gives a flying fuck? Yeah. Like, WWE goes to towns where they only sell fucking 7,000 tickets sometimes. It happens. And who gives a fuck? Stop bitching and watch wrestling.
Yes.
Fucking Mark bitches.
I wish I lived in Vagina Canada. I started off the show with my little thing where I want a wrestling TV show to entertain me, to make me laugh, sometimes frighten me, and the element of surprise. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is the element of surprise for the rest of the month, all the way through the summer. I want to do some more AEW Fight Forever so I can get on my skateboard and go wee. And LTD will be live here in a few. And finally, before we leave, I'm a six. I'm not your boy. Boy, toy. I'm a sexy boy.
I think I'd rather shoot myself in the fucking dick than hear you sing this song.
Yeah, Jesus
And can
Christ.
we talk about how terrible Fight Forever's fucking creative shit is?
I got
I
my
created a
boobs.
wrestler to
I like
play.
to tweak my nipples.
He looks like
Oh.
a man.
I grab my dick. I tell you to suck it sometimes.
It looks
What is
like
wrong
he
with you?
Get out of mutant baby shit.
You need therapy. I agree. The creative player, not that great.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. My dude's move pep move.
I don't know.
Thanks, everybody. Hit the thumbs up. Don't make me beg. Please, please hit the thumbs up.
If he don't hit the thumbs up, he's gonna keep fucking
Singing that song.
Please, God, no.
I'm gonna rewrite the whole thing. I'm gonna make a parody song.
I'd rather hear
Every time
two
Blade sings
epileptic.
Sexy,
Go
every
ahead.
time Blade sings Sexy Boy, somebody punches a fucking baby.
No, save the babies now. Oh God, I'd rather hear two diabetic epileptic cats screw than listen to you sing.
I'd rather hear Wolford Brimsley and Pat Patterson Jello wrestle. With
Wow!
the 3 calling the action. The Mountie in their fucking French Canadian accent.
Oh, look at that sexy boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star.
We're out of here. The sexy boy. Where's the ketchup? There we go.
There's ketchup. It's delicious.
Fuck off, everybody. See you next week.